Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cop Council. How are we all? Hopefully, all of you are having a fantastic day from wherever you are around the world. Happy New Year! Of course, it is our first video of 2023, but it wasn't a good or happy New Year for the Reds anyway. Of course, we've lost to Brentford by 3 goals to 1 in what was one of the worst performances of the season in what has already been a very, very crappy season. That's just put it that way. Anyway, for you guys, anyway. But let me know, guys, how you lot are. Let me know your thoughts, your opinions in the comment section down below, your overall feelings and just general thoughts on this game, because it's, for me in particular, it's a real frustration. Coming from the game, it wasn't, there's nothing noteworthy to take from it. And I think a real deflating defeat on, what has been, a little bit of a rebuild over the last couple of weeks with Liverpool. And of course, the 2 wins we've got since coming back from the World Cup. But again, it's like exactly as the title says, it's a new year for Liverpool, but it's the same old problems yet again, causing the Reds, problems yet again. And do we know how to fix them? No. I don't believe we do at the minute anyway. But guys, let me know how all of you are in the comment section. If there's anyone new around here as well, then please hit that like button, please hit that subscribe button as well. It'd be very much appreciated as always. And yeah, just what do Liverpool do from here on? I don't have a clue. If I'm being perfectly honest with you guys, it's just one of these, just a frustrating time to be a Liverpool supporter at the moment. And again, we'll speak all about it. And again, I apologise for being a bit deflated, but I think all of us can be after that performance, because it was absolutely shite. Sorry for swearing and that, but again, it was dreadful tonight. Absolutely dreadful. And I'm not going to lie, it was woeful as well anyway. But let's get into your comments then, guys, as well. Batalio all being Happy New Year. What's a horrendous shite. That defending is a problem. Set pieces are rubbish as well. We will talk about that in a brief moment as well. That was dreadful, says Egyptian King. 1,000%, my friend. It was an absolute pile of rubbish that I never want to see ever again. And Jordan saying Liverpool have Nunes agreement as well. I will speak a little bit about that later on. I just think it's a load of rubbish, if I'm being perfectly honest, though. And if that is the midfielder Liverpool are going for, I think it's the wrong midfielder. If I'm being perfectly honest with you, I think Jamie Carragher has spoken a lot of truths tonight. And yeah, I just think that a lot of people now are realizing, and I think Jurgen Klopp is realizing as well, Liverpool need midfielders in the door. We can't wait 6 months to the summer. Midfielders have to come in the door now. It's not an option. It's a thing for now. And if they don't realize that, then we're not getting Champions League football at all next season. And then you can kiss goodbye to Jude Bellingham. If you couldn't already kiss goodbye to Jude Bellingham, I think definitely now, if we don't get top four, you can definitely kiss that goodbye in that sense anyway. But because it says FSG and Klopp need to go, I'm sorry, but they do. I would disagree with that. Klopp doesn't need to go anyway. Klopp's been, Jurgen's got a hand tied behind his back. Again, we're making one major midfield signing in what, 4.5 years. Like, it's not good enough. Klopp has fought, the big boys, let's say, for the last 5 years with, the same midfield. You look at the Champions League final that we won. You look at that midfield; it's the exact same midfield apart from Thiago. Instead of Wijnaldum, and that's it. There's been no addition to change it. And of course, I think Liverpool now at the minute are in this terrible time where we need to sign midfielders, and people know we need at least 3 or 4 midfielders for next season. You're going to be looking at 250, 300 million. And do Liverpool have that at the minute without selling the club? No. Will the club get sold? I don't know. It's not the best at the minute, is it, chat? As well, but something must change as well. I don't think it's Klopp. If I'm being perfectly honest, there will never be Jurgen Klopp out, and I just think, look, it's 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 crap. The fact that his hands are tied behind his back, and he can't fight. That's my opinion on it, if I'm being honest, chat. As well, but FSG have to spend. Absolutely agree on that. Carvalho is a footnote now, Connor. I don't know what's going on with Carvalho. If I'm being perfectly honest with you, I haven't got a clue. Again, though, what do you guys make of it? Because for me, and we'll speak a bit more in depth about it. Harvey Elliott's worst game for Liverpool tonight. Kostas Tsimikas' worst game for Liverpool tonight. The two of them were absolutely crap. You can tell Liverpool, and of course this might be a bit harsh, but you can tell Liverpool have had a really, really crap game, and everyone was crap. When you've got Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain scoring a very good goal, in that sense, and being your best player by a country mile, in that respect, like you can tell that the players didn't perform tonight, and again, once again, shocking. You could go up and down the team. Ox for me was the best player on the pitch. I think next down from that, potentially Trent, in that regard. But then even still, Trent did make 1 or 2 mistakes tonight. It wasn't, good. It was an okay performance. It wasn't great. But again, it's just one of these feelings at the moment, isn't it, guys, as well? But that's not far off rock bottom as well. No, absolutely. We surely have to do business. We got a lesson as well. Yeah, absolutely. As well. And the one thing I should say as well, chat, before we do it, and anyway, please share out the video as well, like and subscribe as well. But again, fair play to Brentford. They did absolutely fantastic. That corner technique that they got going on, it's really frustrating. And fair play to them. They got everything spot on tonight and deserved the win. Look, it's not an excuse. It's not the fact that Liverpool should have won the game and didn't. It's the fact that Liverpool were crap and Brentford were excellent. And fair play to them. They were absolutely brilliant tonight. And even without Ivan Toney as well, which I think everyone thought before the game, they haven't got Toney, it might be a pretty decent game then. No, just completely didn't work out for Liverpool tonight. And anyway, we'll speak a bit more about it in a brief moment anyway, but I want to quickly bring up a stat for you guys as well that, again, shocked me when I seen it as well. This is Anfield, of course. Liverpool's away form this season. Played 8 games, won 2, drew 2, lost 4, scored 11, and conceded 13, and only got 8 points from those games. That for me is despicable. It's ridiculous, and honestly, guys, and chat, let me know your guys' thoughts as well. It's unacceptable from a Liverpool side. The fact we've got 8 points away from home this season, it's once again a shocking reminder of how bad this season has been. And where does it get better? If Liverpool don't improve in the midfield, does it get better when Gakpo comes in? Of course, Cody Gakpo wasn't available tonight. Roberto Firmino not there. Jordan Henderson not there due to concussion, so probably going to be out for a week at least anyway. So again, it's just a worrying side at the minute. And you look at the teams above us, this was an opportunity for the Liverpool to be in that close group of teams, along with Newcastle, Manchester United, Spurs as well, to challenge that 4th spot. And once again, we've majorly blown it up. Look at last season, for example. Every time City dropped points, we didn't take advantage. and we ended up practically not doing our best that game week. And again, that cost us the league title when you look at it at that sense, as well. And again, Liverpool have done the exact same. Spurs lost yesterday. Newcastle dropped points. United were the only team to win. Chelsea dropped points to Forest, and Liverpool could have genuinely put their names back in the hat for them being a main contender for top four. And once again, what we go and do? We go and bugger it up yet again. And it's just one of these. It's a situation where you look at it, and I said this on Twitter. There's so many questions to the problems, but there just isn't an answer at the minute, and that's a very, very worrying sign for Liverpool over the next month at least. Anyway, because of course with the window being open, there is still an opportunity to do something, but again, will Liverpool do something in the transfer market? No, I don't think they will. With everything coming out of the club, and especially Jurgen Klopp's press conference about this game and what he was speaking about the transfer window and the market, I don't think Liverpool will go on and sign anyone else this window. And I don't want to say that. I want Liverpool to go on and sign at least a midfielder. But once again, it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. And it's just shite. It is absolutely shite. Let's get a bit more into your comments anyway, guys. Brentford deserve the win, 1000%, Gary. One, I would love to be a fly on the wall on the bus ride back. Exactly 4 hours and 55 minutes, Connor, as well. I don't think there'd be a word said, to be perfectly honest with you, as well. But we might have blown top four. I think we might majorly blown top four. Again, it was an opportunity. It was, something that we could have put our names right in the hat, and we just didn't, did we? Didn't do anything. And once again, very, very frustrating. Anyway, but of course, the news of Virgil van Dijk coming out as well, him potentially being injured, as well. Obviously, Jurgen did speak about it and said that it was a dead leg, not a dead leg, sorry, it was a hamstring problem. Virgil felt something, and then they didn't want to take that risk in particular, but. Virgil didn't have the best of games. Yibu, of course, that third goal. Yeah, we'll speak a bit about it in a minute. But there was just multiple scenarios where Liverpool in key decisions were just terrible. Yeah, again, that's the word. Terrible, rubbish, awful. It's the same adjectives to describe it. And yeah, it's just really, really frustrating. It just really is, because we all know how good this Liverpool side is. We all know what Jurgen Klopp can do with a Liverpool side. But once again, once you've got your hands tied behind your back and you can't fight on all fronts, it's just crap, absolutely crap. But Doug says, well, that was effing dreadful. Yeah, it was absolutely, Doug. It was terrible, wasn't it? So, right, Dougie as well. And it has been a terrible night as well. I will quickly bring up, though, as well, or a couple of you have mentioned in the chat down below as well. I will quickly bring up what I mentioned about it as well, because I do think that, again, I do think it is a pile of absolute rubbish, even though it is getting reported by the Times and reliable people as well. So, if you guys haven't seen, as well, we will talk about the game in a brief minute anyway. But as you can see by there, exclusive Liverpool return. Liverpool return to deal for £44 million Wolves midfielder Matthias Nunes, and it does go on to say that Liverpool are reportedly, going back in for their interest. But as I've said, but no idea on the Matthias Nunes situation. It makes no sense on why the club would want him now if we didn't want him back in the summer, especially with the £44 million valuation Wolves have set. And again, I think that's the lowest it could possibly ever be. You look at it, they bought him only just last summer as well. It's a massive no-go. And again, I don't think he's good enough to be a Liverpool midfielder. And once again, Why on earth would Liverpool want a midfielder that's been at Wolves for 6 months? Why? It makes no sense whatsoever. And I bet Wolves fans are even laughing at that. And of course, that come out, what was it, a couple of minutes after the game started. I just think it was, laughable when it come out for me. And I think Jamie Carragher has spoken pure facts tonight. If anyone's watching on Sky and so on, it's like he said, Liverpool are missing Gini Wijnaldum massively. We're missing that Wijnaldum player that would sacrifice himself for the team, and we are. And he's spoken about our midfield and how it's become, a technical midfield. It's not a workhorse midfield anymore. It's a technical midfield. And he was, saying that like the old Arsenal teams used to be like that. Back when he was playing, like the 2000s, where Arsenal would stop being this physical, monster in the midfield, and then start being technical and start being, that type of midfield. And that's what Liverpool are at the minute. And then that is majorly, you could possibly even say, the style of Thiago, in that sense, because Liverpool's best midfield, in my opinion, was, Gini Wijnaldum, Jordan Henderson, and Fabinho back in 18-19. That for me was, or even when we went on to win the league, for example, I thought that was Liverpool's best, midfield. And now you look at the midfield now. Fabinho tonight, especially as well, wasn't his best. Once or twice, very very good interceptions and so forth. But Thiago wasn't the best. Even though Thiago was a luxury player, and don't get me wrong, look at the Leicester game, for example. He was man of the match. We said this, but today didn't even perform. And yeah, Harvey Elliott. I've been one of the biggest fans of Harvey Elliott, but he ain't ready. He's not ready. And this is the thing: Liverpool this season in particular, we've had to call upon the likes of not Gini Wijnaldum, sorry, the likes of Fabio Carvalho, the likes of Harvey Elliott to start in important games. We've had them to start a Merseyside derby, for God's sake. Should they be starting in that game? No, they shouldn't be. They should be developing into the future players that we all hope that they will be. And again, it's that sense of, we haven't signed a major midfielder for 4.5 years. We haven't signed, apart from Thiago. And of course, rival fans will go, oh, well, you signed Thiago. Yes, we signed Thiago. Apart from that, the last major midfield signing Liverpool made was, back in 2018 when it was Naby Keita. That was the last midfield, big signing that we made. And it's not good enough. We're talking about now Jude Bellingham and so forth. I still believe Jude Bellingham will join Liverpool. I do. I still believe he'll join. But it's that thing of A, Liverpool not having Champions League football, and B, when you look at it, there was the rumours last week. I don't know if it's true or not. Me and Jack were speaking about it, about Tony Cruz, potentially retiring. So again, that leaves a spot in that Madrid midfield. And when you look at it at the minute, what would you rather? Would you rather play, in Liverpool's midfield the way it is, or would you prefer to play in Real Madrid's? 9 times out of 10, you pick Real Madrid's. And it's that very much annoying sense of, we've waited all this time for Jude Bellingham. If Jude Bellingham doesn't come to Liverpool, what is it then? Florian Plintenberg mentioned months ago, didn't he? Chat, I think probably like 2 months ago, mentioned the fact that Liverpool were keeping an eye on Moises Caicedo as an alternative for Jude Bellingham. I don't think he should be an alternative. I think he should be a plus. It should be Jude Bellingham and Moises Caicedo for Liverpool. But again, it's the fact of, is there finance there? Is there backing there? And the easy answer is no. There's no backing there at the minute, because once again, are FSG going to invest this load of money before someone buys the club? Probably not, and it's probably now. It's right now probably what we need. We need it now. And again, rival fans and even Liverpool fans could go, "Oh, we're just being greedy. Look, we've just got Gakpo and in and so forth, um, and oh, we're just being we're too greedy. We're looking for too much." But I don't think that is the case. Look, did Liverpool need a Cody Gakpo right here, right now? Yes, we did, because our left-hand side has been butchered through injuries. Luis Diaz out until March, Jota out until February at least, and that's the thing where it's for right here, right now, it makes sense. In 6 months to a year's time, will it make sense? Maybe not. You don't know. Um, but midfield is a massive priority for Liverpool because, again, you need to help the likes of Harvey Elliott and Fabio Carvalho. Harvey Elliott tonight was atrocious, and look, it was his worst game in a Liverpool shirt easily. Hands down, it was his worst performance in a Liverpool shirt. But again, people will crucify him for that, and you shouldn't be. You should try and support him. But again, that's the problem. We'll most likely see him against Wolves on the weekend in the cup. Should we see him in the cup? No, we shouldn't. But once again, will we see that? I don't know. But guys, let me know your thoughts. Anyway, are you having any guests on or another time? You can come on, Doug, if you want. If anyone does want to join, I didn't put a link or anything in the chat down below. Let me quickly send you a link, Doug. Where are you? Where are you, Douglas? Right, there we go, Doug. If anyone does want to join, by the way, then let me know in the chat. But again, it's a very, very frustrating time to be a Liverpool supporter. Anyway, sorry, Charlie, I'm trying to send a link to Doug anyway. So Doug, if you're watching, please check your Twitter DMs as well. There we go. But yeah, for me, it's unacceptable. This game in particular. And it's not even It's not even Harvey Elliott, Kostas Tsimikas as well. I love Kostas. I think he's been brilliant. In replacement for Andy Robertson at times, but tonight again, shocking, absolutely shocking. Virgil van Dijk not on it, Kanate not on it. Mo Salah as well. We haven't really mentioned Mo. For me, was woeful tonight. People go on and butcher, Darwin Núñez. For me, Mohamed Salah tonight was very, very quiet. And again, at least Darwin Núñez is trying. And we haven't really mentioned it as well because Darwin did score, but once again, offside slightly. I know a couple of people were arguing it, but I think it was just offside. Anyway, but we'll bring Doug in a brief moment. Doug, I will bring you in a minute. Let me just read the comments out for a minute. Even Milner, Henderson, and Genie were better as well. FSG can't compete anymore. I would agree with you on that. Gary, 100%. Elliot needs a break. I would agree. On the pitch and off the pitch, Real Madrid should be interesting. So what, the game or Jude Bellingham? Who are we talking about, Brian? Both of them are going to be ridiculous, isn't it? Billy as well saying Salah was, I think that's crap. He was absolutely crap. Jude Bellingham and two other for 200. That's insane money. We're locking 300. That Brian, it's not even a debate. Liverpool have to spend 300 million in the summer, and that's all on midfielders. It's not, and I'm not even joking at that point. It's the truth. Liverpool need to spend 250, 300 million on midfield alone. That's not thinking about defense. It's not thinking about attack. The attack, in my opinion, we don't need touching. Unless, of course, there is something drastic with a striker or something like that. But for me, midfield and defense need sorting. And again, what do you sign? I don't friggin' know. Anyway, but we'll bring Doug in. There we go, Doug.
Hello.
First of all, what an absolute mess that was.
Well, first things first, Happy New Year to you. Hope you had a good New Year.
It wasn't a good New Year. We friggin' lost.
Yeah, that's true. That is very, very true. It's like we've gone back to 2022 all over again. And as you say, New Year, same old problems. That was just, and obviously, like we can obviously talk about the in-betweeners GIF. That was fucking dreadful.
Wait, I think I still have that on the thing. I didn't think about bringing that on. Do I have it? There we go. Yeah, it is.
Well, that was fucking dreadful.
Sorry, Chad, for the swearing, but yeah, it was effing dreadful. But for you, Doug, obviously I've mentioned Harvey Elliott. For me, Harvey Elliott and Kostas Tsimikas were the two that were the worst out of the bunch. And obviously Klopp, realised that by taking them off at half time. But for you, mate, what was just generally wrong with Liverpool today? Because again, even when we changed things round, I think the first 10, 15 minutes of the second half, we were very, very good, and then something just switched off. We went back to being slow and just completely deflated. And in my opinion, there's that many questions that need to be answered, but none of us have the answers for them.
I think, look, I don't think it's fair to sort of single out Harvey Elliott. I think that was probably his worst game as a Liverpool player. Let me just say that. But I think we are being forced to be playing Harvey Elliott in midfield, because of a lack of midfield options. I agree with what I think Brian said. I think in the comments that Elliott needs a break. I think he does. I think I'd argue that he's, apart from obviously like Alisson and Salah, I think he's been one of our best players this season, because I think he's got a bit of a bright spark on him. Yeah. But I have to say that today, I thought the left hand side is a big problem for us. It is a massive problem for us. Tsimikas was really poor. I think the only bright spark today was probably Ox, and it goes a long way to say that in 2023 our best players are Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, a 3-1 defeat. It just says it all.
It's what, 2016 Liverpool all over again. But
yeah,
it's that sense though, Doug, though, as well, that a lot of pressure I think now will be spoken about the owners, and again, I think all month long, it's going to be spoken about midfielders, and Liverpool should be signing this player and this player. I'm just quickly having a look now. Chris Khan has just tweeted out saying that Liverpool appears to be going after Matthias Nunes, which again I don't get if that is the case. But I just think that it just, like that, we play 4-3-3, and obviously 4-3-3 is our main go formation. But when we played that weird 4-2-4 or 4-4-2, things look to be a bit simpler. It was just the fact we needed that one or two players to come back, and then we could go again. We've got obviously Darwin Núñez, Mo Salah. That's more permanent in the team. Of course, Cody Gakpo will come in on that left hand side.
Yeah.
But it just seems like everyone has just forgotten how we play, like especially in the midfield. Like, and as Carragher's mentioned, and obviously I think Hannah has just said, but yeah, I agree with Cara on Elliott. The kids should not be propping up an aging midfield as well. No, and I agree. And I agree with a lot with what Jamie Carragher has said tonight about about the midfield, and about how Liverpool's team in particular has gone from a workhorse midfield in terms of Wijnaldum and Henderson, and constantly running, to a Thiago style midfield where it's that technical now, which is completely slowing down everything, and nothing's happening, to that sense of we're completely slowing down the game. And it's okay. We'll do this pass, this pass, this pass. Everyone's defended, and then we have to go back to a Virgil, or we have to go back to an Allison, for example. And it's that sense of now, like even in in this window, or even in the summer. One question I will quickly ask you before I do eventually get on to the big question. Do you think if Liverpool don't sign a midfielder, do you think we get top four?
No, I don't, because I think we're one midfielder away from a really, really bad injury to potentially just having to rely on like injury-prone midfielders. It's as simple as that. I honestly don't know what's happened to us this season. But this isn't sort of like a one-off. This has actually happened on a couple of occasions this season. We badly need a midfielder, and we badly need to buy one now. But whether or not we get one is another matter.
Bugger, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain's a new midfielder. Or Arthur
I mean, we could. Oh Christ, yeah. Well, yeah, he's more probably useful in a wheelchair. He's probably our version of Jack Wilshere, if I'm being honest.
Could say that, but I don't know. I think that, just like I said, I think Liverpool have just missed the bullet really, because again, like I mentioned, 4.5. Take away Thiago, 4.5 years since we've signed a midfielder in the door.
Yeah.
Like, or 4 years then I should say, but it's again not good enough.
No, it's not.
In that regard. Anyway, but I want to quickly speak to you as well on Virgil van Dijk as well. I've seen plenty of people obviously critique him for the half game he had as well. Do you think something is wrong with Virgil? Because I've seen plenty of people on social media go, "Oh, he doesn't look like the proper player that he did before the start of this season. He hasn't looked comfortable." And of course, we all thought that was because of the World Cup. But even in this game, the first 20 minutes, he got absolutely battered. Of course, for the first goal as well. Of course, it was him, trying to run back and defend. Obviously, Alisson had to make the save in the end, but it was the fact that there was just no calmness there. There was just constant chaos and no control. So what do you make of Virgil van Dijk's A, performance, and B, your thoughts on the the injury news really as well?
I think that's Virgil's worst game in a Liverpool shirt. I thought Fulham was really, really bad when he was at fault, I think, for both goals. But tonight I thought that was his worst performance in a Liverpool shirt. And I think someone made a very, very good point earlier on. It was actually I think it was Gary Neville. I think he said that every time you would expect Virgil van Dijk to sort of sweep up, now people know how to play against Liverpool, and we always seem to struggle against a physical side. And if we saw what happened last season against Brentford, then we knew what was coming tonight. We knew what was coming tonight. Look, I have to say, hats off to Brentford. I think for people who actually said that they could potentially go down this season, second season syndrome and all that, I think they were clueless, because Brentford are a fantastic side. Thomas Frank's doing very, very well there. But I just think it's a case of people knowing how to play against us. And I think Virgil is probably still recovering from that big ACL injury that he got. I think it's taken him a bit to get sort of back to the pace with our game at this moment in time. And I just think people are actually noticing him potentially as a weak link.
Yeah, 100%. I think I've seen people going about Ibu Konate as well and his performance. And look, I didn't think anyone had a good performance for Liverpool apart from Ox. And I'd say maybe you could even push maybe Trent in that regard. The ball for Ox's goal, like, that was outrageous.
Brilliant! Left-footed cross as well.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, that was his first Premier League assist this season as well, which is mental when you look on the face of how much Trent's done over the last couple of seasons as well. But I will jump back into the comments then, guys, as well. But even still, I think that there's a lot of discussion needed. And of course, Jurgen has already spoken about it. How of course, for the third goal as well, he said it was a foul. I don't believe it's a foul. I think it's soft defending from Ibu. But again, I think there is major conversations needed over the next month on Liverpool needing to sign a midfielder. It's now the question of, do they have backing? Because that report that come out, I think the day after Cody Gakpo, saying that apparently the finances are stretched and so on, and again, you don't know what to believe. And if we're in particular, if we're stretching for a £37 million signing, then what on earth's going on? I should say in that department anyway. But guys, let us know your thoughts anyway. Mods, if you can, put Doug's link in the comment section down below as well. And I think as well, guys, there's I believe there is 32 people in here as well. So if we can get that like button up as well, I believe we're only on 13 at the minute. So if we can get to 20, that'd be very much appreciated as always. But all players who are worn out, then a handful of kids and new signings, no connection in the timeline of the team as well. I've said it, for the longest time. In my opinion, Real Madrid have done it perfectly. What they're doing with their midfield, I think they're the perfect example to look at. And yeah, sadly, Liverpool, look, it's practically going to be 3 out of the door, and 3 in the door, hopefully anyway. But again, will that happen? Who knows? Agreed, Doug. Liverpool have misses too many windows as well. Absolutely. Panav's in as well. Hello, Panav. Hopefully you're on a fantastic day, my friend. As well, apart from, of course, Liverpool losing. But too many miles on the clock, Doug, mentally and physically, after going so close last year as well. Yeah, I would agree with that 100%. Biggest mistake was not adding to the title win. Well, yeah, what was it? You look at the Champions League when we only added Adrian and Taki Minamino in that season.
Yeah,
after.
I think was Sepp Vandenberg in that season as well.
Yes, he was. He was Liverpool's first signing that season.
Yeah,
it's again, it's not the best.
No.
And it's when you look at it, Liverpool haven't signed. Obviously Cody Gakpo coming in, even the season just gone. Obviously we added Luis Diaz halfway through, but did we sign anyone noticeable in the summer before? I can't remember. Jota? Did Jota come that season? No, it was the season before. So Kanate, in that particular, but again, it's just not. We're not bringing in people to move things along. Then I would say anyway, but 2 away wins all season, built on the road. Anyone fancy us away at Brighton at the minute and tonight? Absolutely not. And absolutely not. Not having a second choice after Tchouaméni did us as well. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, the second choice was to go after Jude Bellingham, but sadly we couldn't go after Jude Bellingham. So yeah, it's that for me, in my opinion, I don't know why we just didn't go after Caicedo there and then, but
yeah,
again, I don't know. But Doug, can you pronounce that name, please? Because I will absolutely butcher it.
Emblemo.
There you go. Destroy VVD for pace earlier on as well. No, he did. And to be fair, he caused us a lot of problems last season.
Yeah.
Again, Liverpool just did not react to what happened last year. Again, that Ali made the save as well. Ali has saved us so many times this season. I was listening to a podcast, I think yesterday, where Alisson wasn't in the conversation for the goalkeeper of the season, or the season so far. Like how can't Alisson Becker be in with a shout? Because for me, Liverpool would be in a very much worse position than what we are right now.
Oh, definitely.
I think he's prevented, I think 9 goals now. He's prevented for Liverpool, which, look at it, guys. He's been phenomenal for Liverpool. The only player, apart from Luis Diaz, in my opinion, that could, put his head up so far this season. It's too easy to play against us. Absolutely, it is. Trent should have used his left to finish that pass from Naby as well. Yeah, he should have. But again, didn't do it, did he? Saying it now, we'll only win 1 league game this month. Chelsea home, possible. Or possibly as well, potentially, my friend as well. James is in as well. James, good to see you in here as well, my friend. I think Gakpo will help this team. I hope so, my friends. I bloody well hope so. What do you think, Doug? If I was to say now, what is Liverpool's best starting 11 for Wolves? For example, if you were going to go full on for Wolves, well, no, actually, no, mate. I'll say full on for Brighton because I think Wolves obviously will see change. But what would be your fallout Liverpool team for Brighton?
Ali definitely. Trent, Matip. If VVD's got a hamstring injury, then I think Kanate will probably be with Matip, and then I think it'll be Robertson.
I think Virgil will be fine.
He'll be fine. So
apparently he felt something, and they just didn't want to take a risk. So I think he should be fine.
Okay. So if we're basing on that, then so it'll be Ali, Trent, Matip, Van Dijk, Robertson, Fab, Thiago. I'm just. It's that third midfielder that's really bugging me.
Jude Bellingham. Wait, what?
Yeah. I'd actually go Naby. And then I think it would be probably Gakpo, Nunez, and Salah.
Yeah, I would agree with that lineup. I think that is pretty much the lineup. That is probably the better. I'd say maybe Jordan Henderson potentially. If Hendo is back from the concussion, but even still, I think Liverpool. I think Liverpool could even go to a 4-2-3-1, maybe.
Yeah.
But again, I think it's too late to change it once again this season. But the summer is coming back to pinch Liverpool as well. I think there's as well. Clan Show as well says Brian. Brian wants to see why was Robinson clapping for. Don't know what that's about in particular. Have you been to Brighton? Have I ever been to Brighton? I want to say no. I don't think I've ever been to Brighton. I could be wrong with that.
I may have passed it on maybe one occasion, maybe going down to London, but I've never been sort of in Brighton.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I don't think I've ever been to Brighton personally, because Jota is injury prone. Sell him, says Brian. Maybe. I think Neil Jones was speaking about something like that. That maybe one of the forwards might be sold in about 18 months' time. So we'll have to see. Heads are gone as well. Well, my head's gone. Brian, honestly, Brentford won't get an easier 3 points. True, but to be fair as well, I think you do have to put respect on Brentford's name. I think they were excellent tonight. That corner technique caused us problems, and we couldn't defend it at all. But Brian is well saying we're clutching at straws.
Yeah.
First time in 84 years Brentford have beat us. Let that sink in. Yeah, it's ridiculous, isn't it? When the third went in all nuclear cycles, well, and that's the thing, though, internet and chat. It's the fact that we've been this unstoppable force for the last 4 years, and we're now at a roadblock that we can't go through and we have no answer for. And it's that sense of, does something need to change within the club? I'm not saying Klopp, because I don't think Klopp should be sacked or anything like that. I've seen plenty of people already tonight saying that Klopp should go and all this other crap, and I personally don't believe that. I think Jurgen is still the man for Liverpool Football Club, but potentially backroom staff, could someone come in the door in that regard? Of course, we mentioned signings already, but there's so many questions that need to be asked, but I don't think plenty of people couldn't answer them for Liverpool at the present moment in time. Anyway, but I think Doug as well, especially for Wolves. I think you could try and experiment and see if something happens, but I again would just completely go full on youth team against Wolves, just to focus on Champions League, because that for me is the major thing for Liverpool now this season, is to try and at least get that fourth spot, because even though we've lost tonight again, if results do go our way, we're not that far away from fourth spot, and or even third in that regard as well. But of course, if we'd won tonight, it would have been 10 times easier. But it's that sense of we are still close to getting that, and if we can help us in the long road get into it and not focus on a cup, I think for me, I would definitely go for full on youth against Wolves. What about you? Do you think that the same, or do you think Liverpool should try at least to get out to the next round of the FA Cup?
Yeah, it's a difficult one, because I think we are obviously the holders of the FA Cup, but I think that'd be the last thing on Jurgen's mind now, the FA Cup. But it's difficult to say what kind of team you'll play on Saturday. I think Kelleher will definitely start in goal. And then I think it's a case, I think you might see Carvalho. I think Gakpo starts on his debut. I think he starts. I think you may see Elliott maybe move on to the right-hand side of the attack.
Do you think
it's difficult? It's really difficult to say.
Do you think Ben Doak might start for Liverpool on the right?
Possibly, yeah. I think we need to see Bastatic as well, because I think both of them, Bastatic and Doak, are definitely bright sparks in this team.
Yeah, 100%. I would agree with you on that as well. But I'm just trying to quickly check something as well. No, that's nothing. But yeah, I would agree. I think, and chat, as all you guys can tell us as well. As Brian said, they're all about top four as well. And I
definitely
100% with you on that as well. But Ben Doak in the 9 could potentially see it, but of course he's played a lot on that right hand side as well. So again, we could even see Cody Gakpo up front. That could be a potential option as well. But to answer, I actually think you might start seeing more youngsters in the league as well. Well, I think one youngster in particular, I think Basetic. I think you could potentially see him start a lot more games in that midfield. But yeah, it's the fact that we're speaking about now Liverpool, struggling in the league, as many of you guys have, and I haven't put them up on screen, but many of you guys have said you can't wait to see what happens when Real Madrid play Liverpool, and I'm like, yeah, like the way we're playing at the minute, we'd get absolutely terrorized.
We would
in the next round of the Champions League. So and again, that might be a route for Liverpool to try and qualify for Champions League football next season. Of course, because if you win it, you get to qualify again. So potentially that might be a case for Liverpool. But Brian says Nunes might start, a chance to get him on the score sheet as well. Yeah, of course. Again, to gain some confidence, as Brian has said there as well. He said to get some confidence as well. And I absolutely agree. I think obviously he got his goal tonight, but of course it was offside. So look, the goals will come for Darwin Núñez. I'm not worried about Darwin, and I've seen plenty of people go, "Oh well, it's it's him, not performing again. For me, I'd be more concerned personally, guys, of Mo Salah than Darwin Núñez. I think Darwin Núñez, gives his all the time. Mo was non-existent yet again tonight, and it's that sense of, again, what do Liverpool do? And again, we don't know. Anyway, but Manuel's in as well. Hello. Hopefully having a fantastic day. So smash the likes, people. Guys, apart from Gakpo, I'd like to see coming through the door this month. Saicedo and Amrabat. They are realistic targets with these three players. The mood on. I don't know, I think it's Liverpool as well. Mate, I would honestly love if we could get one of Saicedo or Amrabat, but after the two, I'd rather Saicedo. But is that realistically going to happen? I don't know. Give him 45 anyway as well. Absolutely. From start to finish, we built team as well to play as well. Yeah, absolutely. And I think this is Ricky as well saying that we are shite. Yeah,
hello, Ricky.
Yeah, we are. Not the best, are we, at the minute? Are we, lads? It's not the best. Anyway, and again, it's terrible. We have no cash, and we're stuck with the clowns that are FSG. Yeah. Well, I did see that video of the Red Sox fans, peltering them with abuse. Not bad abuse, but like, sign this player, sign this, do this, do that. And yeah, it wasn't the prettiest of videos, because you could tell that their frustration. We get that. And yeah, it just isn't the best, is it? At the present moment in time. Anyway, but Genie in the midfield and Mo, Bobby, and Mane up front. We are nowhere near that as well. Yeah, Genie Wijnaldum. Again, we said it at the time. One of the most underrated players for Liverpool Football Club, and how we are seeing it right here, right now. Where we need that type of midfielder in the door.
Yeah.
Anyway, but. Ricky says, "I'm so sorry, Genie Wijnaldum." Yes, Ricky, you should be. The amount of times you said Genie Wijnaldum was terrible, and now look at you, you're wishing him back. No, but yeah, I think everyone can tell Liverpool need that workhorse midfield back, because again, it's without it, we are at a crap. And
absolutely.
There's no hiding behind it anyway. But guys, we are going to leave it there for tonight anyway. Big thank you for Doug for coming on as well, and a big thanks to you guys as well for commenting in the I was going to say description and in the comment section down below. Anyway, of course, look, it's our first video of the new year as well, so happy new year to everyone. Of course, it was in the best circumstances. Of course, but look, at the end of the day, hopefully Jurgen and the boys can sort something out, because again, it's not the best. And as far as signings go, anything like that, we'll have to see as the month goes on. But do we realistically see something happening? No. And of course, something has to happen because this side at the minute is absolutely awful at the present moment in time. Anyway, we'll read out Dave's comment before we do head off anyway, saying, with Virgil being injured, I would pair Canate with Phillips, stop playing high line, bring teams on to us with the pace of Núñez and Salah, and that would shine if we stop playing high line as well. Yeah, I would agree with that 100%. But, well, if anyone watches that Nat Phillips tackle on Erling Haaland, that was the best thing of that City game the other week.
Yeah,
so
it was.
Yeah, so again, potentially, I think the high line needs to go anyway. Again, I think Liverpool were at their best back in 18-19 when the high line wasn't a thing. We won the league with a high line, of course, but I don't know. I just think that it has to go, especially now anyway. But again, who knows anyway. But guys, like I said, big thank you to all of you guys. If you're new around here as well, viewing us for the first time, mods, please put Doug's link in the comment section down below as well. Also, if you could hit that like button, obviously massively appreciated as well, because I think, if I quickly have a look, we're currently on 19 likes, so we get to 20, guys. Very much appreciated as always. Might have actually hit it. To be fair, I'm not quite sure as I'm trying to refresh the page to find out. I hate it because it just never works anyway. But we are on 19 likes as well, so if we can get the 20, we very much appreciate it as always. But hopefully the Reds will be back anyway. But of course, we'll have the latest news probably tomorrow as well, because of course the Matthias Nunes news come out of nowhere at the start of the game, and of course there might be a bit more news tomorrow morning. Maybe the likes of course Neil Jones, Paul Joyce might have a say on it in the morning anyway. But of course, if there's anything breaking, we'll let you guys know anyway. But of course, that's going to be it from us. I've been Connor from the Cop Council. If there is a news episode, guys, it will be tomorrow at 9 o'clock as well. So keep an eye on the community tab and on Twitter as well anyway. But yeah, like I said, I've been Connor from the Cop Council. We'll see you all then. Ta-ra.